Veto Brevis knew there was more to life than being a fashion designer. He'd make the biggest, most exclusive party the world had ever seen. Plans of the party instantly made headlines everywhere, and made him the envy of anyone in the fashion business. He knew just what to do to make the party the most memorable of all time. Veto announced that this party would close with his final performance ever. As part of the preparations, he had his computer genius Ed invent the mysterious dome, which all of the guests of the party would have to wear. No one knew what it was all about, but did it. Everyone liked Veto, even though he was a loner anyway. On the night of the mode event, an uninvited party crasher showed up and began experiencing something strange. The mode event kept repeating, the evening cycling over and over, but only for the party crasher. The first time, the crasher stayed at the party until the end of the night, but missed Vito's performance due to a tryst with a charismatic storyteller. The second time, the crasher was thrown out almost immediately by the bouncer Tuba after annoying Veto Brevis. The third time, the crasher ended up unconscious during Vito's performance after being knocked out by the dangerous criminal Rial. Who can say how many more times this mystery person must relive the party of the year, and if Vito's final performance will ever be seen? Hello everyone! Welcome back to the Party of the Year, Veto Brevis' mode event. It's been a while since the last time we were here. It's been a few months, actually, because the last mode event stream took place on March the 2nd, 2013, which is what we're seeing here today. The third mode stream covered the fourth mode event, as we just saw what happened with our previous three party crashers. This time round, we are determined to reach our objective, to watch the final performance of Veto Brevis. Let's start the mode event as we always start it, by going forth and talking to Charity.
And enjoying the
Now, Charity will say the same thing she always says. We can't interrupt her, and we can't change what she says. While she's talking, we should probably think about what we need to do here. We know we want to get the dome as fast as possible. And we know that Rial is the one with the dome. We've already established that. We've already established how dangerous Rial is. We also know that Ed is Vito's tech guy, and we haven't really been able to talk with him much at all. So he's probably another of our priorities here tonight at the mode event.
Against the backdrop of high-tech haute couture. But the question on everyone's mind tonight, what will Veto do for an encore?
And of course, if we've forgotten, since it has been so long,
his last multimedia event. Indeed,
what we're trying to do is make it to the end of the party, so we can actually see what this performance is that Veto Brevis is going to do. His final performance. We've missed it 3 times in a row,
hinting in the press that
but maybe we'll actually be able to get there this time.
In fact, perhaps his last public appearance of any kind, and that he plans to go out with a bang.
We like to see that bang.
Floating around the room tonight are as strange and fascinating as the fashions. Whatever happens, you can rely on me to be your eyes and ears on the scene. This is Charity Flame for Nightlight Magazine. Did we get it? Great. Thanks. Hi, enjoying the event?
Well, so far in previous mode events, we haven't really been able to get much out of Charity. The conversations haven't gone really any place. So this time, the chat decided that we were going to play it cool. We were going to answer blue. See what she had to say to that. And also, for this third mode stream, the votes were much easier to tally because of the introduction of Oddme, our dark god of techno-fetishism, which will tally the votes every time we make a choice. Created by Suspicious Dish, no doubt due to some arcane magics needed to summon the god, but he's here to serve us during the mode event. So we chose blue.
Well, the fashions are fun, the drinks are free, and there's a mystery in the air. What more could you ask for? Do you like a mystery?
Well, of course, the chat loves a mystery, or else why would they have come there tonight? So they went with green.
Oh yeah, me too. It all has to do with that Veto character. That's him over there in the booth. He won't talk to me, he won't let me interview him before the final performance. You could talk to him. Sure, he could talk to you. Why wouldn't he? Listen, please, could you do that? You could find some information out for me. Oh, please do it. I would be so grateful. I really would. Listen, you go find out. Come and see me later. I'll be at the main bar. Cheers.
Well, that was a very short conversation still, but we did get something else out of her. She gave us an objective to go talk to Veto and try to get him to open up to us. I have no idea why she would feel that Veto would talk to us. We just met, and we haven't even met Veto yet. So what is it about us that gets people to trust us so much? We've heard this before in previous run-throughs as well. But Veto doesn't want to talk to Charity. Maybe we can get something from him. From previous runs, we know that Charity is maybe looking for information beyond just what's going on at the party, but she didn't let us in on that quite yet. We can see Jack in the background, the Hoff, though we know his name now is Jack Nietzsche. The chat, however, decided that we were going to ignore Jack for right now. We had to keep our eyes on the prize, and that prize is the dome. And Rial is the man with the dome. So let's go looking for him. Of course, the stage. We've already seen that. Well, there's Ed, but that's not who the chat wants to talk to right now. And of course, Veto Brevis himself. But what good is it if we don't have a dome? And here's the man who can give it to us.
You're not invited.
Well, the chat decided that we were going to play it cool with Rial. We know Rial's down with us. I mean, he did knock us unconscious with his dome finger last time, but that was because we did it first, right? Let's play it cool. Let's give him some blue.
I don't mean here with me. To sit down, to open your mouth, whatever. I mean the party, the place, the event. You're missing something. You're incomplete.
The chat agreed with Rial. We are missing something, aren't we? And maybe Rial can give it to us? Maybe. We're going to give him some green and tell him that, yes, mystery man, we are indeed incomplete. We are looking for something.
Who the hell are you? You don't have a pin? No dome? No nothing? That's the only rule around here. You're a party crasher. I should call Tuba. He's our bouncer. He gets rid of people like you.
Well, we've seen this conversation before. We know where this goes. He's going to ignore us while we talk to him and try to get the dome. We've gotten the dome from him before, so we know how this goes. So I think I'm just going to fast forward this bit until we get to the part where we actually do get the dome.
Sit down. First of all, you should have one of these. Now, you pin it on like this. But I don't need one. You do. Oh, relax. I'm just studying you. trying to get a reading.
Well, we were quite pleased in that we were able to get a dome. However, we don't much appreciate Rial trying to read us, so the chat wanted to remain as unreadable as possible, so we gave him back some blue.
I judge you to be my friend, and I am seldom wrong. I can be very helpful to my friends. I can tell you why you're here. I can bestow visions. I can give you keys to wisdom. So, what shall it be? Do you want to know why you're here?
Of course, the chat definitely wanted to know why we were here. So little we know about our party crasher that anything that Rial could tell us would be appreciated.
I don't know why you're here. You're certainly a strange one. It's as if you had a power but don't know how to use it. You should see Shiva. I think she's near the stage. She has the sight. She'll tell you why you're here. I may have told you too much already. You may already have the power to destroy me. Oh, go away. Oh, come back later when you know what's going on.
Well, I don't think he has much to worry about that bit about we being able to destroy him, because we tried that in an alternate reality. Didn't really work out that way. Whatever our hidden power is, it's not going to destroy Rial, it would seem. Anyway, the chat was quite angry about being brushed off, being deceived by Rial about him being able to tell us this. And we had spoken to Shiva in a previous playthrough. She did not have too much to say, so the chat was quite red about this response. And it didn't matter. It didn't actually matter that they were red, because Rial was done with us either way, no matter what our reaction was. Next up, we did take a vote on who we were going to talk to next. The remaining people were Veto, Jack, Mia, and Ed. And now that we had a dome, maybe we could get some different responses out of these people. The chat decided that we were going to speak with Ed. After all, Ed is the person that we have made the least progress with. All of our conversations with him have gone nowhere, but we know he's important. We know he's Vito's computer whiz, so what might have he to say to us? If we are able... there's Mia. The chat decided to pass her up for right now. Dancing! Forever dancing in the mode event. Alright, let's have a look around. Nope, stage? Okay. There's Ed. Alright, we have the dome. We're confident now that maybe we can get some more out of Ed that we haven't been able to do before, so let's give it a try.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm working on this machine. Just look around, there are lots of free terminals.
That's always how it starts. Ed's working on something, not really caring about the people. He wants us to go away, but we're not going to go away. The chat is going to be real nice to Ed to see if we can get him to open up. So the chat decided to go with green.
What's that? I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention at all. I'm kind of Mr. Fix-It around here, and I've just got to configure this machine for... Anyways, you'll have to excuse me.
We've heard this before. He wants to be excused, but no, we're not excusing you, Ed. We're continuing to be real nice. That's okay that you didn't hear what we said. We'll just say it again with green.
Gee, I'm sorry, I'm just not hearing you. This system isn't exactly trivial, and Vito wants me to run things from here for its final performance. I could run it a lot easier over the network from my main terminal, but... Well, that's how all the games are run. Well, you know, the game?
We have seen the game, and the chat did want to agree that we know about this game. So yes, we're going to give Ed some green. We know about the game.
So you haven't tried it yet? You want to try it?
The chat definitely wanted to try the game.
You should. It's quite amusing. But I gotta get back to work.
And the chat decided that we were going to go with some blue on this. We're just going to hang out, just kind of stare at Ed, look at what he's doing.
I'd really love to chat here, but, well, there are a million little circuits counting on me, so...
Ed doing his best to break off this conversation. He's doing a good job. I mean, honestly, we're being the awkward one here. He's obviously trying to tell us that we're not welcome and that he is trying to just get on with things. He's trying to break away, doing so gracefully. The chat was not accepting of it. We were not having any of this. The chat decided we were going to continue to be very polite, but refuse Ed's demands that we break off. So we went with green.
Thanks. That's very flattering.
Well, I don't know what we said, but apparently Ed was pleased, and the chat was pleased too. I believe this was a new response. I don't think we heard this one before. So the chat, encouraged by this, decided we were going to continue on, give him another green. Surely he will be even more flattered, but whatever gold comes out of our mouth this time.
Hey, I'm not an ecstasy animal like these other drones. I'm sorry, but you're coming on way too strong. I am out of here.
Well, the chat was very sad. We thought we were getting somewhere with Ed. We thought the conversation was going places. In the end, it wasn't. So, since that ended up in failure, just like all of our other attempts at trying to make conversation with Ed went, the chat now had to decide whether they were going to go with Veto, with Jack, or with Mia. Well, of the three, it's really a no contest. Veto is the most interesting one here. So we were going to go back over to the host, Veto Brevis, now with Dome on Finger, and see how things went. And yes, the stage again. And the music stops after the... Okay, here's Veto.
Stop me if you've heard this one. A total stranger goes into a private party after midnight looking for some kicks. And he meets the host, a dashing world-famous artist. And the host says to him, "What are you doing here?" And the stranger says...
Yeah, we were asked this question before by Veto Brevis. This time around, however, the chat decided that we were going to play it cool, we were going to give him some blue, and we were going to respond maybe, I don't know. I don't know what he said, Veto. I'm feeling very neutral about what he might have said. Veto did not think much of our answer. It's not surprising. Veto is a person you would imagine would be of strong opinion. I don't think he thinks too much of neutrality. So the chat decided if he wants a strong opinion, we'll give him something strong. We're going to give him some red. Tell him not to scoff at us.
I'm going to give you 10 seconds to convince me that you're worth knowing, and this will count towards your final mark. But here's some advice. The more you tell me, the more likely I am to find you fascinating. Are you ready? On your mark, get set, go.
Once again, we're given the challenge to make us sound interesting. The chat decided we were going to do this by just being so angry and rude.
You have a serious problem with anger, don't you? I like that in a person.
Veto giving us some sarcasm back, so the chat decided that this was the wrong way to go about doing things. Let's give him, Mr. Brevis, some green instead. Try to make him know we're not here for a fight, Veto. We're just here to have a good time at your party.
So you've decided that I'm to be your entertainment, have you? Well, I'd love to oblige you, but I need to know more.
He needs to know more. The chat decided that more was going to be positive. We're not going to get mad at Veto for doing this little verbal sparring with us. We're just going to go along with him and just tell him something more about ourselves. What? Who knows? because we don't know anything about the party crasher. Maybe we could tell him something about how we're attending this party for the 4th time somehow.
You arrived late, didn't you? So, what have you done so far?
All right. We can remember, I believe, that one time when we answered this, it was after we went to the sauna with Mia, and he got real mad at us. Had Tuba throw us out. Well, we did not talk to Mia this time. So what might happen if we give him an answer to what we've been doing? Well, the chat decided we were going to play it cool, go with blue, try not to get too excited one way or another. Who knows who it is we'll mention this time.
Aha! My computer genius. Don't you go corrupting little Eddie now.
That was different. We did talk to Ed before Veto this time, so we mentioned that we talked to him. It seems that different people will have higher priority to this question. As you just saw, we talked to both Rial and Ed, yet we mentioned Ed. So I guess Ed takes priority over Rial? It seems that's the case. Though Rial was the more fruitful conversation. The chat decided that we were going to tell Veto, hey, we don't have any designs on Ed. We're not trying to get him to reveal your secrets or anything that the reporter wants. Hey, what about that? The reporter kind of wants to know something about you, Veto.
Still here? Who the hell are you? What are you doing here? Do you have any idea what's going on here?
Yeah, we've been asked this before. Veto getting bored of us, just wanting to pay attention to whatever it is that's on his laptop. The chat decided that they were going to go red and tell him that, no, we don't know what's going on here, though I believe we've done that before.
Then I'll only be too happy to instruct you. This is the temple of Odme, the dark god of techno-fetishism, and I am his high priest, Meod, slayer of minds, render of logic. Rest assured, pitiful mortal, your fate is sealed.
Yeah, we have heard that one before, though that is one of Vito's best responses, letting us know the danger that we're in, this techno-religion that surrounds us, and also the birth of the name of our own vote counter, Odme. We decided to go with green on this, just to laugh along with Veto at the joke, if it is a joke.
It's all just a flicker in the retina for you, isn't it? A tickle in the brain stem. If I could only have you see yourself as you see me, blind you with visions. Maybe later.
It is difficult to figure out how to impress Veto. Most things that we can tell him seems to lower his opinion of us, which was already pretty low. The chat decided that this really wasn't going anywhere, so let's just be neutral and give him some blue. Try to salvage something out of this.
I'm bored. Go away now.
Seems like it's nothing doing. He just flat out tells us to go away. Some of the people in the chat decided that we might be in danger and that maybe we should get out of here lest we face the tuba. However, the majority of the chat decided that we were going to get in Vito's face about being brushed off in this way. So we went with red.
Really, I have to work. Please be gone.
Well, that is some glare that he's giving us, and that was enough to get the message across to most of the people in the chat, who decided that we were going to give the leave option the win this time. Veto obviously is very mad at us, does not want us anywhere near him right now, so it's alright, Veto. We're just gonna back off and enjoy your party. You can keep looking at whatever that is you're looking at on your laptop there. No need to be rude about it. So after that, we had 2 more people to talk to. However, the chat remembered that there was a certain little device that they wanted to look at. And once again, the stage. Yeah, the mode machine. We've played with this before, and in fact, the last time we did, the chat at the 3rd mode event was very close in unlocking the dark secrets of the mode machine. So we decided to stop playing around and let's see what this had to offer. Right, we remember this. And as it turns out, last time the chat actually did solve the mode machine. It's just that the way the mode machine works, you have to enter the correct password a few times. I couldn't tell you why, that's just how it's made. What is the correct password? Well, it's some variation of the 4 letters that make up mode. And it is a word that or a name I should say, that we've heard before. We've heard someone say it. Or maybe more than one person say it. Edom. But you notice nothing's happened. Oh, hold on. Something happened for a second there, but it's gone. Once again, we have the word. Nothing's happening, though. Huh? You know, I imagine if you were playing this on a DOS computer in the early 90s and you just happened to stumble upon this, that actually would probably be pretty freaky. By entering the password of Edom, we enter a secret file talking about the Veracity synopsis, the origin of the Edom and the forming of the time arrow. Some odd, eclectic words in this description. Kind of sounds like it's talking about the arcane. Well, we unlocked it, and we were wondering what was in this the whole time, so we might as well see what's in here. Well, the Veracity synopsis seems to be blank. Finally, one of them has some text. Well, there's actually quite a bit of text in the mode machine, as you can see. So, I guess we just should probably start reading this. Fragment the first, from the Pentateuch of the Impelling, being how creatures of great power brought mind to the world and wage battle still for its dominion. And in those days were the lands laid waste for the sake of the renewal. Many were the endings of the living beasts and crawling men that covered the face of the world. The skies were black and the oceans red with the blood of their still birthings. And it was prophesied that the world would end in that hour, that life that was would be no more, but would pass on to other worlds and never again be in that place. And then it did come to pass that 2 vast beings did come into the world, and they were older than the world, and older than all things, and were known beyond the telling of mere man as the tantamount, the twin empowerments, by names revealed, Bish and Pethta, and they hungered to the world, and the living days there were giants in the sky, and they were known as the Yam. And they did smite the world and her sister Maya, and did raise the stones and lay the first tablets of truth, and still anchor the world through long last to the eye of man. And the world was a great island raised out to cast the light of life on the lifeless world. And they did look upon the world, and saw verily that it would surely be generation upon generation, ere there would be another golden age, and that down unto the eons of darkness of the elect, so that they might make between them a great pact, and priesthood, and sacred kindred, who would be known thereafter by the name of Edom, and who would become as holy guardians of the truth, and keep it safe from wayward man, even until the hour of the unveiling, in the full glory and terror and humble be, for the hour is at hand, and none the moment knowing, nor the power flowing, lest the life erupt in geysers of light and martyred blood. Gods away, fell captains unmantled, they shall sweep the kingdoms, and the dust of our moting shall tantamount, that anchors the bow and gives it its divine potency. Then we shall look to the skies, and our brethren angels, and the gifts Elysian, those magical artifacts around which the Edom has formed, as the shell on a pearl, the meager children awake, for this is it, the hour of the last thought, the big finito, infinito. Can you possibly believe that the things that are happening are now not part of some grand cosmic explosion, whose fuse we ourselves fashioned and lit, and through whose very detonation we are presently living? Is it not self-evident that the Marian visitations are no different from the Casey event, or Tunguska, or Atlantis, or crop circles, or the Buddha, or angels, or fairy lore, and every genuine UFO sighting and abduction recall and race memory artifact since the dawn of time? Is it not obvious enough that the nuclear-powered subatomic genius of our mad dash towards a certain doom at the hands of a cyclopean technology is the predestination of a divine race on the threshold of a vast transformation, guided and nurtured and thwarted in this destiny by beings from another dimension of which we are part and yet separate, they of a level of complexity that is to ours as we are to the ant? Is it not more than obvious that in order for we inferior beings to aspire to conspire in this exalted company, that we must become so much more than this great seething mass of striving singular snowflakes, that we must draw together with the common purpose to survive the coming storm, and though it be forged into a single body and a metaconscious mind? Shall we falter in this, the last gasp of our species? Is this all for which we were destined to die through calamitous folly, having done little more in our span of millennia than selfishly strive and fill the globe and squeeze her dry? And there's also this earnings report. Seems a little dry in comparison to what we just read, but it's about Rial, about his criminal background. And he has quite a history. But I'll post all these in the thread so you can look at them more closely. There's also an attached report, which appears to have a badly formatted spreadsheet going over some large transactions involving Agent Rial Ataychek. Well, we know that Jack Nietzsche, the Hoff, was looking for some information on Rial and Veto. This sounds like exactly what he might be looking for. Maybe it's a good thing that we decided to look at the mode machine before talking to Jack, because I think he'd want to see this. Well, that'll have to wait for next time, as next time, at the 4th mode event, we'll go talk to Jack, tell him what we found, and see what he might do with this information. Could it lead to the downfall of Veto and Rial? We'll have to find out next time. See you then.